So Constantine, who founds the city, super important for the history of Rome, super important for Byzantine history. He apparently, according to his chronicler, is the first Roman emperor to adopt Christianity. Whether he does or not is kind of up for debate. A lot of things related to the spread of Christianity throughout the empire are attributed to him. We aren't going to cover Constantine because of time, but if you're interested, he's certainly in the textbook, and he's a super cool figure. He and the folks who come after him really struggle to renew the empire. The city of Rome is sacked several times, 410 AD, 476. It's finally taken over by Germanic invaders. And we see the West declining while Byzantium, Constantinople, is actually quite successful. And Justinian, one of the emperors in Constantinople who is around, he's born in 482, he dies in 565, is the last guy to really try and seriously return the Roman Empire to what it had been like in the 1st and 2nd centuries. He is aided by his forceful wife, Theodora. Theodora is, she's an interesting person. You can dig into her a lot. She was probably a prostitute, a courtesan. She probably called a lot of the shots instead of Justinian when it came to governing. She was from a pretty blue-collar background, and there's all sorts of crazy things about her. Just a real quick Wikipedia search will teach you fun things about Theodora. But the two of them ended up making some really kind of positive, lasting contributions to Western civilization. One is actually a result of a negative aspect of where Constantinople is. If you take a look at it and you put on what might be like geologist goggles, you can see that it's where a couple of faults would meet, which means that earthquakes are really likely. And in the 520s, a series of earthquakes leveled a lot of the city, but gave Justinian the opportunity to rebuild it. And he ended up strengthening the walls defending Constantinople. He built multiple churches, including the Hagia Sophia, which will be on the next slide for you to take a look at. The dome of the church is just absolutely magnificent. It's 180 feet tall. It's got 40 windows circling the top, which make it look like it's floating. You can see in the interior picture. Much of the inside is covered with mosaics, like the one you see here, which is little pieces of pottery put together to form images. So lots of architectural contributions that made the city beautiful. Romans had prided themselves for a long time on their laws, but laws had gotten kind of confusing between 800 BC and 400 AD. So one of the things that Justinian did is he hired a lot of people to go through all the law codes and create a new revised one that was the same throughout the empire. Again, kind of getting ahead of myself a little bit, but there's a slide, 2 slides from here, which shows the Corpus Iuris Civilis, the body of civil law that is created by Justinian or overseen by Justinian. 16 individuals working for 7 years went through all the laws that were on the books and created a standard uniform law code for the entire Byzantine Empire. One of the things that's also really cool about this is it's the basis of most law codes that are implemented in Europe up until the beginning of the 20th century, really. Okay, so those are some really good things he does. He improves the city. He actually sends armies out to reconquer Italy and get the empire to the size you see in the previous slide. He does some good law code stuff. But there are a lot of alternate interpretations of the good he does. So let's take a look at that a couple slides ahead on the one that says Nika Revolt.